and we are honored to have Riley and Jill Mader as judges of our Alberta Supreme. Rob Young. For those that don't know Rob, and this is the Saskatchewan Rob Young, not the Breton Rob Young. We are very proud to have Rob Young, son of Barry and Marge of Youngdale Angus at Caryvale, Saskatchewan, as part of our Supreme team. Their farm is a family operation, and as such, currently handles a 200-head purebred Black Angus cow operation. They host an annual bull and female sale the second Tuesday in April at Alameda, Saskatchewan at Chopper K Auction Mart, where they consign 50 purebred yearling bulls and 30 open top-quality replacement heifers. Next year's sale will be April 14th, 2020. Rob was born and raised in one of the best lifestyles in the world, raising purebred cattle. This offered his family, as well as himself, opportunities to attend many fantastic events, like Farm Fair International, where they have met and gotten to know so many interesting and well-respected people from all over the world. Through these relationships, Youngdale has been able to place their genetics through embryos and semen, as well as live cattle, in many different countries across the globe. They have taken their best representation each fall from Toronto to Brandon to Edmonton and Regina, and their cattle have been on display in several states across the U.S. They have so many good and awesome memories, but there is one that Rob identifies as standing out in his mind forever. It was when he was in the place of you 18 exhibitors in the ring in November of 2006. The excitement and the anxiety, Rob remembers it like it was yesterday. Standing in the dark, dealing with his own emotions and nerves, and the exhilaration and the joy he felt when Youngdale Pollyanna 22P was slapped Supreme Champion Female. The words fail to describe the incredible sense of pride he felt at that exact moment. Rob wants everyone in this ring to know that all of you here as champions of your own breed are worthy of huge congratulations on a job well done. It is truly an honor to be part of the judging group, Rob believes, to be part of such an exciting time. And he wants to thank the Farm Fair International Committee and the Breed Committee and all the exhibitors for exhibiting such outstanding groups of cattle. We're very proud to have Rob Young as part of our judging team. Last year we had Carlos Ojea-Ruyan as our international judge. Not that there's any quota on whether or not we have one or how many, but this year we have, I think, an American equivalent of Mr. Ruyan in Kent McCune. If you have followed cattle development in the United States over the course of the last, and I'm sorry, Kent, I got to date you a little bit, 30 to 35 years, this young man has been raising great ones since he had a 1 in front of the double digits of his age. For the last number of years, he has actually created a Canadian affiliation by being sought out by Blair's.Ag Cattle Company, the Lanigan, Saskatchewan-based operation, to be their Director of Marketing and U.S. representative. Blair's.Ag, of course, known as a Red and Black Angus program. Kent himself grew up on a small cattle operation near El Dorado, Kansas, and currently lives in Perkins, Oklahoma. But livestock evaluation, in addition to livestock production, has been part of his life since he was a child. And judging is something that he not only excelled at, but took a great interest in. He was a member of the national champion senior college team at Kansas State University, and he was the top collegiate cattle judge in the entirety of the United States of America. He worked for the Kansas Livestock Association and operated his own sales management and consulting company before joining the Blair's.Ag team. And he has bred, brokered, or exhibited numerous national champions of different breeds across America and Canada in his 35-year career in the seed stock business, including the recent Supreme Champion Female at Agribition this past year. Ladies and gentlemen, we're super excited to have Kent McCune as part of our judging team, and I hope that he's not missing a great college football game today. Hopefully it's tomorrow. Otherwise, he might have to run out, or if you see him checking his phone, he'll be looking at scores. Folks, these are our panel of judges, 5 ballots, 6 judges, an outstanding group. I'd ask you to please put your hands together and show a Farm Fair welcome to our outstanding judging panel. Now, Tracy, I wonder if I could ask you to grab a microphone because as we introduced these animals coming into the ring, we talked about not just Farm Fair champions, but Olds Fall Classic champions and Lloydminster Stockade Roundup champions. And I know that you have a vested interest in all of those organizations. Could you tell us a little bit about what Alberta Supreme is and what it means?
Well, Rob, I'd love to share that because I think it's a true delivery of partnership and collaboration. So, of course, in the exhibition industry, and I have the pleasure of being the general manager of the Olds Regional Exhibition and surrounded by great leadership that has led our organization over the last 20 years to be fully committed to agriculture and livestock production. And there's no question that our exhibition business is committed to that. And Lloydminster Stockade, of course, as an exhibition and ag society is too. So, you know, it seemed logical for our groups to get together as kind of the 3 premier beef shows in the fall and just try to find some ways that we could provide some incentive and some reward to the exhibitors that are investing in coming to these different events. We know that it takes a tremendous amount of resources from a staff and infrastructure perspective. We know that we recognize all the great logos around the buildings of all the places that we visit that are the sponsors that invest in the events. But we also know that the events can't take place without the tremendous commitment, hard work, and dedication of those that are on the end of a halter here in the ring. So of course it's the exhibitors that motivate us as programmers to come up with some really exciting initiatives and rewards for their achievement. So it was a no-brainer for us to get together between Lloydminster Exhibition, Northlands, and Olds Regional Exhibition to come up with Alberta Supreme and rather support the elevation that Farm Fair provides with their Supreme Saturday. So it was a really excellent opportunity, and I think that what we have done with that is develop a program called the Alberta Supreme Stakes, where we tabulate points from every champion and reserve that goes to all 3 of those shows, and we're going to award that a little bit later on in the program this afternoon. But Rob, I think it is something that we are committed to as an exhibition industry. We're committed to as an industry as a whole. And we're just so excited to see what that looks like when we look out here and look at our peers. We talked a lot about throughout the last 4 days, throughout the shows, and we've heard some really fantastic comments about mentorship. And in particular, we heard Tyson Hertz talk a number of times during the Simmental and Charolais show about what that really means. And I think that's maybe a story we don't always say. There's mentors in this building. They're in the dirt, they're up in the stands, they come from abroad and overseas, and they're people that really make the difference. So in all honesty, Rob, I think it's so much bigger than partnership and collaboration. It truly is such a wonderful thing to be a part of here at Farm Fair International.
And I think, Tracy, that as we talk about our world becoming smaller, and the international elevation of Farm Fair involves more and more people from more and more countries every year, including the extraordinary champion of the world process that ultimately reaches its capstone here at every one of the breed shows, where the acknowledgements of last year's winners happen. We see where that world being smaller has led to greater partnership, greater collaboration, and it is increasingly important that we recognize that competition among shows and exhibitions, just like competition among our breeders, while an important part of what happens, is actually somewhat smoothed away under a blanket of cooperation and realizing we're all in it together and we all want to achieve the fact that we're all better off when we're all better off.
Well, one of the things, Rob, that I always love as a long-standing 20-plus year volunteer at Calgary Stampede is we truly are greatest together. And one of the things that we absolutely love when we travel abroad, and I had the opportunity to join some young people at the Sydney Royal Easter Show in Sydney, Australia, we get to see some of these Canadian genetics working in other countries. And what an accomplishment it is from these breeders that are working so hard. We have government officials and industry officials that are creating that linkage between us and other markets. So I think it's just such a neat opportunity to celebrate all the things that we do well here in Canada in terms of quality and genetics. And it just makes us be a little bit more proud to be able to travel abroad and see what the Canadian seed stock producers are doing.
So Tracy, I think we have a number of other acknowledgements that we need to make through our Alberta Supreme, and that would include, in addition to the Alberta Stakes, the Beef Exhibitor Draws. Prizes include a co-op gift card and cash. All our beef exhibitors are eligible for these awards that Northlands has sponsored. And if you hear your name called, you will have 90 seconds to claim your prize. Tracy, do you think we should do our first exhibitor draw?
Yeah, we're going to do our first one. And Lindsay, it's for $500, right? So Lindsay Crow, who is the Farm Fair event manager, is down here with this sexy draw barrel. And we're going to pull out a name. And as Rob said, you're going to have 90 seconds. Now, just to let everybody know, when you jump over the stands to come running to make the time clock, just be safe and don't spook anything and don't hurt yourself. But the 90-second clock is going to start now, and for our first $500 draw, we would like to invite a representative from Scott Land and Cattle to receive their $500 cash. Cash, right, Lindsay? This is cold, hard cash. 90 seconds on the clock starts now. Now. And how about now? Anyway, Scott Land and Cattle.
We have it running up here, Tracy, and it's now at 70 seconds.
Oh, 70 seconds. Devin, oh. Murray's coming. Somebody's coming. It's a fight to see who of Scott Land and Cattle is going to get the cash. Is it Devin? Is it Murray?
I think Devin's going to let Murray get it. Unless Murray peters out before he gets there.
Congratulations to Scott Land and Cattle. Excellent Simmental breeders here at Farm Fair International. And Devin himself was in a number of our shows today. The Prospect Show, the Junior Futurity. So congratulations to you.
So I wonder, Tracy, if we might take a moment at this time to spotlight our Legends of the Fall champion. You know, here in our Alberta Supreme, we do have some very, very important sponsors. We have DRI, or Davis Rairdon, as one of our major sponsors. Dr. Adam Shireman, I know he and his wife are a little bit too far along in expecting, perhaps even a little farther along than Lindsay down there in the dirt with you, Tracy. So we don't actually have Dr. Shireman, but we have Kathy Wood and Catherine Wilson of DRI here. And we do want to acknowledge Davis Rairdon and their 35 years of experience with bovine embryo transfer. They provide a high quality of service both on farm or at their state-of-the-art center just outside of Crossfield and Carstairs, Alberta. Their experienced and highly trained staff are committed to providing the highest quality of services and obtaining optimal results. We're very happy to have Kathy and Catherine here on behalf of DRI. Another one of our major sponsors for Alberta Supreme is Alta Genetics, and I know Terry White is also in attendance. Alta is very honored and proud to be a part of the Farm Fair Supreme show, supporting the consigners that have supported Alta for so many years. It is such a rewarding relationship that they have valued for the over 50 years that Alta has been around. In fact, 51 years of providing semen collection and global distribution to the Canadian cattle industry, including owner's use only, European Union and China qualified production, which hopefully we'll be able to have them start shipping to China again in a few weeks' time. Also, we want to acknowledge the sponsorship of Ram, of course, and the all-new Ram 1500 that has the most luxurious opportunity to sit in a saddle, and for some of us, we might prefer its saddle to that on a horse, that you're ever going to have the pleasure of sitting in. This heavy duty that is the most luxurious truck in its class. And of course, the government of Alberta. Having said that and spotlighted those sponsors, earlier in the week, we had our Legends of the Fall. And I wondered, Tracy, those folks we gave $2,500 each to, if you wanted to just remind us who the individuals were that took home those checks.
Well, I absolutely would, Rob. And first, I would like to call on Daryl Leppa. And I know, if I know Daryl Leppa well, Daryl is going to be somewhere in the marshalling area. And I would like to ask Leppa to come into the dirt. And just on behalf of Bow Valley Genetics, if he could make his way to this glorious spotlight at the checks.
He's coming. Lepa's in the house.
Awesome. Daryl Lepa is going to come. I also